Welcome to the Semester Trees presentation. MSU teaches, talks, and walks trees. The Spartan Tree Campus Legacy is presented in collaboration with the 2021 MSU Science Festival, and we're really excited to have you here with us. My name is Amy Butler, and I'm the Director of Sustainability here at MSU, and I'll be your moderator. To expand your interest in this topic, we also invite you to put your questions into the chat or into the Facebook Live, and we'll be glad to follow up with you. If you want to check out some additional actions, we'll have such as our virtual Arbor Day 5K or a self-guided sustainability walk. We'll highlight those at the end. But first, let's get right to our panelists and learn some exciting things about trees at MSU. Since founding of MSU in 1855, Spartans have nurtured and cultivated the campus arboretum. Today is the certified tree campus higher education institution with over 20,000 trees logged in the MSU's campus arboretum. This legacy of stewardship still continues. Tonight, we'll discover a little bit more about the life cycle of the MSU trees, the important role that trees play in creating a sustainable and resilient campus, and how they also contribute to research and experiential learning. It is my pleasure to welcome our three panelists: Frank Tuloski, Director of the W.J. Beale Botanical Garden and Professor in the Department of Plant Biology; Jerry Wahl, our Campus Arborist in the IPF Landscape Services; and Robert Richardson, Professor in the Department of Community Sustainability, College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Frank, take it away.
Thank you very much, and pleasure to see everybody this evening. Thank you for your interest in our campus arboretum, our campus trees. And I just wanted to say that what you're looking at in the slide right now is actually an interactive campus map that is available online. And that's available through the W.J. Beale Botanical Garden webpage. And you should be able to find that very easily. Excuse my voice is kind of a little bit rough already. Anyway, the whole concept of campus arboretum actually started shortly after the campus was founded. Many of the original trees that were on campus had been felled, but several of the smaller trees had been left. And those trees were rather spindly because they were kind of understory trees up and around what is now Beaumont Tower. There was a building up there known as College Hall, the old College Hall, and Saints Rest, and many of those trees were topped right around 1860, 1859, because the people who were taking care of the campus at the time wanted to have those trees branch out. And those trees, actually, we had the interesting experience of having one of them fall over earlier this year, a couple of years ago, and it actually came out to be over 350 years old. So many of those original trees on campus are quite old. And the other aspect is that many trees have been planted subsequently on campus over the past 150 plus years. The first commemorative tree was planted up by Cole's house, and it's a eastern white pine. And it was planted by President Abbott to celebrate the birth of his daughter in 1863. And that tree is still there today. Interesting little factoid about that tree is that 21 years later, his daughter got married in the shade of that tree. Professor Beale actually started planting trees on campus in 1874 up between Mary Mayo and Campbell Halls. And so the tradition of planting trees has gone on. I like to always say that every Spartan tree has a story. There's a very nice article about the campus arboretum and the campus trees in MSU Today. You can find that online as well. But the campus arboretum really has a very important purpose, not only to help enhance the beauty of the campus, and provide that really wonderful context of being able to walk across campus, enjoy the fall colors, enjoy the spring flowering trees. Right now, the crab apples are getting ready to bloom on campus. And in the fall, we have beautiful, like I said, the fall colors, summer shade with all the different colors of green. But the campus arboretum also serves an important role in teaching and research and outreach. In addition to the campus tree map that we have that helps serves a lot of people, answers a lot of people's questions about what tree is that, in addition to our labels that we have on many of our trees on campus. It also provides a way for professors and students to learn about trees and use them in the classroom, the outdoor classroom, teaching them, dendrology and arboriculture and so forth. The trees also serve an important role as a resource for researchers. And we've had many researchers utilizing these trees. Dr. Deb McCullough, who is our entomologist, was doing a great deal of preliminary work and really the fundamental research on emerald ash borer that was introduced over in eastern Michigan, outside of Detroit. And she needed to know what kind of trees did we have on campus that may have been the native food source for it. And it just so happens we had some Korean ashes. I had collected the seeds many years earlier on a trip over to Korea, and we had the trees growing, and she was actually able to compare the feeding behaviors of the emerald ash borer on ash foliage from Asia, which would have been a more normal food source, and compare it to the ash trees that we have in North America. And so she's done extensive work in documenting and working on trying to understand the biology of the emerald ash borer. So that's just an example of many of the different kinds of studies that our campus trees are engaged with, supporting our university function as a land-grant institution and for our outreach and research. So anyway, the campus has a wonderful collection of trees. I hope you've had the opportunity to come and visit the campus and will come and see us, especially after the pandemic passes. I would love to be able to give some tours. Again, I enjoy giving information about the different trees across campus, and I hope I will see you on one of those tours someday here once the pandemic passes and we're allowed to do those again on campus. So thank you very much, and I will see if you have any questions and see if we can't get some answers. While I'm running out of my time here, I'd like to pass it on to Jerry Wahl, and Jerry will talk a little bit about how he helps take care of the campus trees.
Hi, I'm Jerry Wahl. I'm the campus arborist. I work for Landscape Services on campus, and I'm here today to talk about maintaining the trees in the campus arboretum. The campus arboretum contains over 20,000 trees, but that number is always changing a little bit. Every year, some trees need to be removed, but many other trees are being planted. MSU has a 1-to-1 tree replacement policy, meaning that for every tree that needs to be removed, we will plant another tree to take its place. Last year, we planted over 300 trees and are on track to plant another 300 trees this year. So we're planting around 300 trees a year, along with thousands of shrubs, annuals, and perennials. And that's a lot of plant material to keep track of. Beaumont Nursery is the central hub for all incoming plant material on campus. They order, receive, and care for all plant material until it is ready to be planted on campus. Beaumont Nursery also specializes in growing plants that are rare or not readily available from other vendors. For rare trees that we have on campus, the Beaumont Nursery staff collects cuttings and seeds from these trees and propagates them so that they can be put back on campus to preserve the diversity of our arboretum. These rare plants are grown in the greenhouse until they are big enough to be planted outdoors in the field. And we currently have around 1,200 trees in our field and eight hoop houses that are full of all different kinds of plant material. When it's time, the nursery staff harvests the trees, and they are planted on campus by the site construction crew using planting designs created by our 2 landscape architects. Most of the trees are harvested and balled and burlapped to be put on campus, but for the largest trees, we have the Big John. The Big John is a 90-inch tree spade that can move trees up to 6 or 8 inches in diameter. And those 20,000 trees on campus require a lot of maintenance to keep them healthy. So we have a 6-person arborist crew whose full-time job is pruning and fertilizing trees and preventing diseases. These guys' main job is keeping the trees healthy and safe for the campus community. The largest part of the arborist crew's job is pruning trees. Each year, the crew prunes close to 3,000 trees. Some of the things they look for while pruning is the removal of dead branches, structural pruning to reduce future storm damage and set these trees up for long-term success. And the arborist crew is always looking for structural weaknesses that could pose a hazard to the campus community. All the pruning we do really shows during storms because we typically have very little storm damage after storm events. We also spend a lot of time treating trees for disease and insect problems. A couple examples are our population of over 100 American elms. We've been protecting them since the mid-20th century. Dutch elm disease is a deadly fungus that was introduced to North America and has killed most of the large elms in this area. These trees need to be injected every other year with a fungicide, or they will be infected with the fungus and die. Emerald ash borer is estimated to have killed over 40 million trees in Michigan alone since its introduction in the late 1990s. We routinely inject over 200 ash trees on campus with an insecticide, and now have some of the largest ash trees left in the state. One example is over 120 feet tall. We also spend a lot of time protecting trees during construction projects by fencing off the root zones of trees during construction to prevent soil compaction. As I have said before, unfortunately, some trees need to be removed every year by the arborist crew, and most of the brush generated from removing these trees is recycled by grinding it into mulch, which is then used on campus around other trees and in planting beds. But the good quality logs are saved, and then they're milled and repurposed into products that are sold through the MSU Shadows program. The MSU Shadows program produces many products, ranging from pens to picture frames to desks and tables. These products are available from the MSU surplus store. And for most of the products, we know exactly where the tree that it came from, where it was created from. Robbie is going to talk more about the MSU Shadows program and how it helps the environment by sequestering carbon.
Thank you, Jerry, and welcome to all the participants. We're glad you're here. I'm going to just give some brief remarks regarding a research project that I supervised related to the Shadows program, also known as the MSU Sustainable Wood Recovery Initiative. In addition to the value of these beautiful products that Jerry was describing that are part of the MSU Shadows collection, by recovering those dead or dying trees and turning them into products, it reduces overall carbon dioxide emissions from the MSU campus tree system. So our objective in this research was to estimate how much reduction in carbon dioxide emissions is achieved through the Shadows program. If you look to the left of this slide, what you can see is over a 3-year period, which we used in our study, trees that were removed from campus, dead or dying trees that were ground into mulch, emitted about 146, almost 147 metric tons of carbon dioxide. When we accounted for the recovery of those trees during a 3-year period for the MSU Shadows collection, you can see that roughly 68.66 metric tons of carbon dioxide was diverted to the Shadows the Sustainable Wood Recovery Initiative. And overall, over that period, emissions were reduced to about 96 metric tons of carbon dioxide. So in summary, the total avoided emissions from the Sustainable Wood Recovery Initiative amounts to about 50 metric tons of carbon dioxide, or roughly a third of what would have been emitted without the Shadows program. So this, the Shadows program in this way contributes to the overall sustainability initiatives of the campus. And with that, I'll hand it back to Amy.
Thank you very much, Robbie, and great presentations from all of you. As Robbie was talking about the reduction of the gases, we are looking at how do we incorporate that in our overall reduction of greenhouse gases for the institution. We have some established targets that we're trying to reach. Just recently, we have reduced our greenhouse gases by over 36% from our baseline of 2010. And that's before we started including the carbon sequestration as a result of the salvage wood program. So we look forward to continuing to look at how can trees be a part of our overall carbon reduction, but also just contribute to the health and wellness of our campus and of our faculty, staff, and students, and really contribute to the student experience. In addition, we have a whole sustainable forestry program. So not only is it part of our research, but the trees are incorporated as a part of the education and curriculum where we're training people to be able to go out and manage forests and reforest to help combat climate change on a global basis. Now it's your turn to get involved. You can also go to our website at sustainability.msu.edu. There's a sustainability pledge there. So whether you're a faculty or a staff or a student or an alumni or a friend of MSU, you can take a sustainability pledge and look at what actions that you can take individually that will contribute to combating the effects of climate change. You can also explore MSU's Arboretum by taking a virtual tree walk or using the tree map to be able to go different places and take a look at them. Those are both available again on our website. In addition, as you are exploring the campus, you might also want to support that 300 trees per year replacement program that we're putting in place through participating in this year's inaugural Spartan Arbor Day 5K, which is going to be this Saturday. Now it's virtual this year. We're hoping by next year we'll be able to do this in person. But this year, with it being virtual, you can run, you can walk, you can golf. I'm trying to figure out how to golf a 5K. You can swim, you can skate, you can paddle, you can do any kind of virtual 5K that you would like. Sign up right away and you'll get your t-shirt and you'll also get the medal that is made. The medal is actually made by the Shadows program and made from the wood from MSU. And you can keep a track and follow up with us. Put your name in the chat if you have questions that we can follow up with you. And we'll be doing some more presentations and featured speakers this fall during Sustainability Month in October and as part of our Climate Action academic year. So we look forward to continuing to work with you and bringing you more programs. Okay, we have a question from Kevin. What are long-term plans for managing MSU's campus woodlots and who is in charge of them? We actually have a committee that is in charge of our natural areas. And in fact, a couple of our speakers are a part of that committee and they're looking at those issues right now. They are overseen through the campus master plan. The campus master plan is going to be updated next year. So we'll be looking at how we really can advance the protection of those natural areas and those woodlots, but at the same time, make them available to research and to the students. So they're part of the student experience. Do we have any other questions? Let me look at the chats. Okay, we got references in the chat. And if you know how, you can hit the 3 dots and save the chat so you have those. Or you can go to our sustainability.msu.edu and all of these opportunities will be highlighted there. We have time for maybe one more question if we have another question from the participants. I really encourage you to go out and try the virtual walk. You'll learn a lot about some of those specific stories about the trees. Okay, Terrence says, what are opportunities for students to get involved with these initiatives? They can contact our office and we can talk with them about projects. And then we can also connect them with the different researchers that might be doing projects. We also work with our students that are interested in doing sustainability projects. We have a couple of funding tools and we help them craft a project. We also have some students that are doing internships work this summer where they're actually going out and doing some work in these woodlots to take a look at and catalog some of the plants and stuff. What are some of the rarest species on campus? Can we get their seed to grow in our own backyard? I can't answer the question on species. I will say that our MSU library program has a seed program that you can get seeds. I don't know if they would be these seeds or not, but you definitely can get seeds through the library. And species on our website, on the MSU website, it does list some of the species that are found the rare species that are found in the woodlots, in the protected natural areas. Other questions? These are great questions. I love it.
Can I interject on that question about the availability of trees?
Yeah.
So this is Frank Toluski. We do have a heritage tree program as well, in which Beaumont Nursery does raise trees from our heritage trees on campus and sells those little saplings through MSU Surplus Store. And I believe that the MSU Surplus Store does have a web page for heritage tree purchases. So please check that out. That would be really a good way to obtain some original Spartan trees there.
And it looks like we're coming up on time. If we had one more question, we might be able to get it in real quick. If there's one thing you'd like to share about MSU's trees, your work on campus with everyone who sets foot on campus, what would it be? The legacy of the trees is unique to Michigan State. It's part of our heritage. It's part of the beauty of the campus. It's part of the experience that students, while they're here, they get engaged under trees, they study under trees. Those trees are something very special that they remember from their time in their experience here. And it becomes really a part of their being an MSU Spartan forever. So for me, one of the most special things about it is the uniqueness of the Arboretum and how important it is to the university and to everyone that traverses the campus. Any of our other speakers want to share what their favorite thing is about the MSU trees?
I think for me, it was just learning about the trees in general and their history and who planted them, where did they come from. I think that one of the other aspects of it is just talking to alumni and students and finding out from themselves what the trees mean to them. We've had many people who've gotten married underneath the Katsura tree because maybe they went on their first date down in the botanical garden for a walk in the botanical garden. And that's really resonates with a lot of people. So I really think that the trees really make the campus a much brighter, much more relaxing, much more aesthetically pleasing space, as well as all the functions they have for teaching and research.
Jerry, any thoughts?
Oh, there we go. I would just have to say I've been an arborist for close to 30 years now. And so I have a fond appreciation of trees, and I've been climbing trees for a long time. And when I had the opportunity to come to campus and work on these trees here, they're just so old and large and historic. I just feel honored to be on campus every day and get to be one of the people who takes care of these trees. And hopefully we do a good job and they'll be here for many generations to come.
Well, be sure and check out the the MSU Recycling and Reuse Shop, because they have some of the Shadows program products that are made from campus wood, in case you would like your own part of MSU's campus. And also if you want to get a heritage tree and put a heritage tree in your yard. And with that, I think we'll be coming to conclusion. I want to thank everyone for attending today. I hope you've had a good time, and we look forward to interfacing with you more. Be sure to check out that virtual tree walk and learn some of the stories about the trees.